Uh, yeah, and I'm really happy to be in this event, and thank you to give me the chance to share my story with you. I'm fine now. I'm in UK, in London. A month ago, I succeed to make the family reunification to my family, and we reunited again in one place after 10 months. And now I can say that I'm starting to rebuild my family, to start from. I have found the 0 point to start.
And your family is well. The kids are in school.
Yeah, the kids started to go to school, and they are very happy and stable. And my husband is starting to study English, and even my kids starting to improve their English. I think they are intermediate in the English, but they need more because they want to catch up their colleagues. And they are very happy because we are in the same house, and we are not threatened to be displaced again. At least we are in a stable situation. Even when we were in Turkey, we couldn't feel the same feeling, because we were threatened to be displaced in any moment, because our residents weren't as refugee. So we are illegally stay in Turkey, and they just give us the temporary residence for all the Syrian refugees, not for just us. So we can't start to find job, or even the children, they weren't happy at their school because they suffered a lot of bullying. And I don't want to generalize that all the Turkish people like this, but we were not lucky, unfortunately. So after they suffer from.
Oh, I think we lost you for a little bit. Okay, I think we lost you for a little bit, Afraa. I don't know if you can hear us still. Maybe we can turn off the video to see if it works. I think in the meantime, I could maybe say I see someone is also asking about Waad, of course. It is my understanding that Waad is also in London with so they are both in the same place, both families together. So that's all I know at the moment, but hopefully we can get Afraa back so we can ask some more questions. There is another question that came up several times in the Mentometer and also in the chat, and that's, what can people do to help now? What can we do? I mean, it is that feeling of not knowing exactly what to contribute after seeing this reality. There has been an organization established by Waad, which is called Action for Sama. And there will be put up links to the organization in the chat, and it's both about supporting, but it's also about being able to help spread information about the Syrian war. So there will be information about that at some point. And I see we have Afraa back. I'm very happy you're back, Afraa. You broke up and we lost you at a bit and we need to unmute you as well. So so please, if you can unmute Afraa, that would be also very helpful.
I'm sorry, but you know that I told you that we are just moved to this house, and I'm using my phone for internet. Maybe something wrong happened.
It happens. We're all used to this reality now, I guess. So, and I was just saying, while you dropped away, I talked about Action for Sama, and I also told that it's my understanding that Waad is also in London, so that you are both
yeah,
now in the same
and
place.
even Waad and her husband, her family together in London. Sama started her school. I saw that some question, how is Sama? Sama is fine. She's in year 1. She started school this year, and her sister Taima, even she's in nursery. They are our neighbor. We lived close to each other. Actually, because we used to be a neighbor, even in Aleppo or in Turkey, and now here. So yeah, we are happy now to be together.
That's so nice to hear. I would like to ask you, I have loads of questions, but there are a few questions that I think is very important to raise with you. You are the teacher in the film. You are an educator. You are a social worker. You are an activist. I would really love to hear a bit more about your reflections around education in a conflict setting like this, both the challenges of providing education, the importance of education, but perhaps also the experience by the kids about the type of education they could access, etc.
Actually, in 2013, the schools were completely destroyed, and because of the targeting of the bombing and the warplane. So in that time, I discovered that all the children or the students are dropping out of school. So because I am a teacher, I told my husband that I want to do something to save the education, of course, especially for the children who are in a risky situation to be part of any weapon group. So I don't want them to join to this weapon group, and even for the early marriage, because that because of the poor, maybe some families have to marry her daughters just because they are poor and they don't have money to feed them. So in that time, I told my husband I will open a school, field school in some shelter or some building, and because I am a teacher and I know the house, that's all the schools around me, and so I know how to reach them. So he supported me, and I have some friends. We were as a team, and I was the only woman between more than 25 member. So they agreed. They told me that we will support you to open the school, but where we will get the curriculum, right? Mm-hmm. Curriculum. And I told them we can reach inside the school, and under the rubble I can take out the books. I was pregnant in that time, and I was detained in the Syrian prison. So after I get my free, I escaped to the rebel zone, and I wanted to make something to defeat the regime, what he did for me because I lost my baby in the prison first time, and I want to do something just to see that I'm not weak. So I entered to the school and took all the books, and the school was like sealed from a sniper. So I had to make a hole in some wall to escape inside the school. And I remember that I spent more than 6 hours inside the school because I was sieged inside the school because the sniper saw me and he just wanted to shout at me. So when the night came, I could escape from the school. So even the desk, all the tools, the boards, all of this, we took them out of this school to a new building. And day by day, it was the first school in my neighborhood. And after 3 years, this school became 5 schools and 5 safeguarding children spaces, and even 5 spaces for women empowerment. So, and the people started to, I am not the only woman to that did that. Of course, there are a lot of people who want to volunteer in any field, and they started to reopen the schools in their neighborhoods. What I want to say, in conflict, you have to make an alternative to your situation. And we had to focus on something basic, essential in study, in education or in teaching. We don't have enough staff. We don't have enough specialists to teach. All the teachers or the people, most of people escape out of the city because it's so dangerous. So the problems was there is no teachers. So I was the English teacher in the school, and my husband was the math teacher, and my sister was the Arabic teacher. So we focused just in this subject because we don't have enough staff. And after that, when we had our when we trained the volunteer how to teach, we improve our education style. In the beginning, it was emergency teaching. And after that, we complete the normal education, the same curriculum in the regime, the Al-Assad regime area, but we use it because it is we are not government. We didn't have an alternative in that time. After 1 year, I think, after 1 year, the Syrian temporary government for the rebel zone started to give us a special curriculum to teach it inside our schools. And I remember in 2014, because the barrel campaign, the people restarted again to escape out of Aleppo. So we lost a lot of staff. So I remember that Hamza, you know Hamza in the film, he came to me and told me, I want to volunteer as a teacher in my part-time in your school, because I know your school is very good and you lost a lot of staff, but I have leisure time and I will to support you. I received a lot of support from my friends. And then I made like project to Tamkeen, it is Adam Smith organization. And it was institute how to train a teacher to be trained in during 6 months training. So it was a full project, and I remember that I feel that it's the most important thing that I achieved in that time, because not only my school or my area who benefit from this project, or the school in Aleppo get the benefit, because they send a lot of volunteers to train how to teach, and that's the benefit just reach to everyone, in every student in Aleppo.
Mike Dennis is asking, how did you get the resources to run the school? Was it all voluntary basis? Did you manage to generate funding to pay for any salary, or how did it work?
In first year, it was voluntary completely. And there is nothing, you know, that we had to buy the books and pens from we just collected money from our friends. Give me, please, 500 lira, and just, it is not too much money, but we have to, at least we buy pencils and paper. And in 2014, the organization started to support the material, at least for the schools, the pens, the paper, the books. And then they started to give as, it's not salary, it is like alternative to voluntary. And it's just $100 as a salary for each teacher. and he has to buy his tools and do everything. But it was okay. At least you guarantee that you will not lose the teacher, because he doesn't have to come and use that transportation from his own money to reach to your school. So that's maybe improve the education inside Aleppo.
And what about the attendance of the school children? Did they come every day? What was the?
And that's why I was always a smile. And I always was hope, and I still have hope, because when you were working in disaster region and in a war area, and discovered that the children weren't pretend to be to come to school every day, and they keeping smiling, you will always have the hope, and you would always be smile like me. So every time we were targeted from bombing, I always used to tell Salim, my husband, oh my God, I think tomorrow I will never open the school again, and I will never find any student come, and they will be at home, and oh my God, they will drop out of education. And this is just the only place for them to entertain themselves, because there is no garden, even the garden became graves for the martyrs, so nothing. So when I went to school, I discovered that the students reached the school before me and just waiting in the door, next to the door, please open, we want to go to enter to the school. So their safety place for them to play, to express their feeling, because I didn't focus in education more than in psychosocial support. I always told my staff, please, I don't want to them just to have high marks. I want them, when they come to here, that to have a hope to come tomorrow and after tomorrow, to continue, because their life is very miserable. So we have to do something just to give them the hope.
I think it's a striking scene in the film when you say, you can't teach, or you can't make kids make an equation when they're hungry. So I guess there was also that challenge of the balance between that reality and the schooling as well sometimes.
Yeah, because during the siege, they can't even catch the pens, because they doesn't have enough nutrition. Someday some of them maybe get upset or fall down, because he needs maybe some nutrition or some food. So that, and you can't close the school, because as I told you, that it is the only safe place for them. And because of the parallel, I want to mention this, because of the parallel campaign, which targeted a lot of school, and I lost children, I lost friends who from the teaching staff. Until now, I can't forget them. I survived several times from death, and I didn't know how I survived. But for that, we moved this school to be in shelter undergrounds, and no sun, no light reached to these shelters, just because to make them in a safe place.
It's very tough, and I think it's hard for us to know how to, I think, digest some of the things that we see in the film and that you have experienced, and that we're witnessing it through the filmmaking. And I think we feel that we come very close, and I think that's very important for us. And I think one thing that I feel very close to in the film as well is the way that everyday life somehow goes on during during this situation. And I think that's very well portrayed in the film, and the way that you laugh and you have a sense of humor, and you cook, and sometimes you don't have very much to cook with, but you somehow you have to move on. Of course, your kids are an important part of making that move. How to kind of just continue life.
Yeah.
How do you think about that now, after you kind of left that situation, and you don't have that complication of the war, and your everyday life is still going on in a way?
Yeah, look, I still now I suffer from PTSD, and I suffer from nightmares, from not from just bombing, from the arrested situation. So in the last days in Aleppo, I was really scared, and this was the first time that I really feel that I'm very weak. I don't have any place to escape with my three children. So I felt guilty, and it was the first time I am guilty as a mother, because I always used to answer why, when someone foreigner asked me why you choose to be inside Aleppo, and why you choose to be inside the most dangerous city in the world. You have the chance to escape out of your city. I always used to answer them that maybe if I choose to escape, I will save 3 children. But because I choose to be inside Aleppo, I participated in support more than 300 children. So it is a conflict between your passion and your duty. But in the last days, when I saw their fear from their eyes, I felt guilty for the first time. Mm. But finally, we are safe, and even I transferred my fear to be positive, even during our miserable moments in the last days, because we stayed in shelters, and in shelters there were more than 200 persons. So in that time, I used to implement psychosocial support for the children and for the mother. And I was shocked when I witnessed my children started to do the same what I do with the children in their same age. So if they saw a boy threatened, they just started to calm him down. And in that time, oh my God, what should I do? To feel very proud of them, or should I be very sorry because they grow up more than the other? So I'm very confident that I what I did is the best, and if I choose to come back with the time, I will do the same. I will never regret, because now I see them very very strong and self-confident, and maybe that helped them to complete their life strongly.
I think your strength has inspired them immensely as well, and I think it's quite common to feel that guilt towards our kids, but obviously, and it comes out in the film as well. I think when Waad talks about being there with Sama, and she almost regrets that she even met Hamza, and I think that is the feeling that you're also expressing now. But I think on balance, the activism and the strength that you have shown, there is that element of it as well, very much so. There's a question from Harris Helio, who's asking, how important was humor during difficult times?
Yeah, Look, I always say that because the sense of humor and sarcasm, we entertain ourselves, and even we support ourselves, each other to just ignore our fear, to ignore everything around us, and just, okay, take it easy, everything is okay. and I used to ask Hamza, what is the situation? Oh, it's okay, don't worry. Even in the last moment, in the most dangerous moment, he always answered us, oh, it's okay. And I don't know, we trust Hamza because he is involved more than us, and yeah, he know more than us, or even because we just want somebody to say that it's okay, to not feel that you are threatened. And the most important thing, during the war and the emergency situation, you don't have time to be threatened, because the adrenaline just come out all the time. So you have to do something just to defeat your fear. And that's why, because now I am in a stable situation, I started to take out all my fairness in myself, and that's why I suffered from nightmares now.
So you hold your breath and you make the humor part of the survival strategy, and then now you can relax.
Yeah.
Reflecting back on that time, there's a question from Catherine Foley here, who's asking, what would you say was the most challenging and what would be the most rewarding things that you experienced while you were in Aleppo?
The most challenges. Of course, the bombing and shelling, because every time you start to do something, you face that something interrupts you from your dream. I work even in theater. I established a theater team from my students to make the alternative of television. So we have to do plays. So I remember every time when I was training them to play, and always the bombing wire interrupt us, and always fear that, oh my God, the children is are in dangerous place. We have to move to another place. So just the bombing, and even you don't have a long term plan, because you have to work just momently, because tomorrow the situation will be changed. So you don't have to expand your projects or your thoughts. So that's the most conditions, challenges. And even to me as a mother, to be always feeling guilty that you, of course, you have to do your duty as in any humanitarian work, but sometimes you feel that your responsibility even towards your family is, you have to balance between them. And in the beginning, it was how to get my real role as a woman in my society, and how I guarantee that no one will defeat me to stop my participation in any field. So thanks God that my friends that I know them through revolution, my revolution colleagues, they supported me, not me just, a lot of women in our city to participate, encourage us to participate in local council, in any other field. And we just want to raise awareness in the world, in our society, to encourage the other women to participate. And this is our role. So every day you discover that you have a lot of responsibility and you have to fight for this and this. So that's why And of course, the most important thing, to be targeted from maybe regime will send somebody to kill you because you are doing something, and he doesn't want you to show the people that we can do something alternative in his group, in his area.
Thank you. That's so much to follow up in your answer. I would like to follow up on one thing, which is about you being a woman and you know, the way you staked out a space for yourself as a woman. There is a lot of discussion in my field in kind of conflict research about how women get this role in war, but then later on they go back to the more traditional gender roles. How do you think that is changing in the Syrian society now?
Yeah, to be honest, I never expected that one day I will participate in local council, because before the revolution, in my society at least, women just participate in education field, and that's it. So I worked as a nurse as a voluntary nurse in the hospital with Hamza before education, and I worked in theater and in writing plays and series and something like this, and work in even cleaning the streets with my friends voluntary. So suddenly I just defeat the traditions in my country and started to face that I have the right to be here and participate hand in hand with the man. So it was a new revolution against our society, not just the regime, just to give new principles, and because our revolution is the most important principle in the revolution, the social justice and equality.
There's maybe slightly connected to that, because in the film you are able to show these amazing strength that so many different people in Aleppo has shown, and the film becomes a very important testament to that strength and to some of those changes as well, in a way. What do you think about the response to the film? Has the response to the film been what you wanted it to be in terms of what you wanted to disseminate? And you know, it's won I know lots of prizes. I don't know how many. It's and there's so much attention that came towards the film. But what do you feel about the reaction, and how do you kind of interpret the reactions around the film?
Before, during the siege and during my life in Aleppo city, Waad always used to open her camera and document me, not only Waad, every journalist I know him inside Aleppo, because I felt in that time, this is my responsibility to reach our voice, that we are real people, we dream, we laugh, we are normal families, citizens. And so in that time, I was communicate with foreign journalists to show them, look, we are educated women, well-educated women. We want to show them we are doing something good. But in that time, I was really depressed that no one cared, no one listened, no one knows our real suffering. After the displacement, Waad told me that I'm gonna to make this footage into a real film. I told her, yeah, why not? But why? In that time, why? She told me, we have to document our history from disappearing. In that time, yeah, I told her, maybe we can save the rest. The rest, we couldn't be safe in our city. In the end, we had to flee. But maybe we can save the people in Idlib now, in other area. And after I received a lot of messages after the film come through, and I shocked that the people care, but they don't know. and our responsibility to show them and to reach our voice and the voice of the rest of people to them. This is our responsibility. So that I always told Waad, how many times should I thank you, because you really reach our real voice through your footage. And I don't say that because we are close a friend, because really she deserves that.
There's another thing that is very striking in the film, and a lot of my own work is about home and displacement, and there's so many moments in the film that is about home, about the living space, about, I think when one of the strong scenes for me is when you have regained control of Aleppo, and someone says, this is how I can feel home, when I can control the space where I'm living. I'm wondering how you feel about home now. You have been having to kind of make home in different places in a way over the last years.
Look around me. This is
I
my
can
home.
very much see your background.
I take this soil from my city, and to smell my city smell. And you know the soup in Syrian. So the Aleppo one. So and this is my friend's photo. This is my right. This is remind me of my right to return, the voluntary return, because I want to come back to my city. I know that my residency is temporary, but someday we will come back to our city, because we will rebuild our city. We have the right to come back to our cities, but because this is our country, our heritage. This is not al-Assad farm, al-Assad regime farm to own all our country just and force more than 5 million people to displace out of their country. So everyone dream to come back to his country, but we can't guarantee our safety, because if I guarantee my safety, I couldn't displace out of my city.
So does it feel like a loss at the moment, or what is the feeling that you have about Aleppo?
You choose the worst condition, because this month is the anniversary of our displacement, and I don't want to cry because I know that the regime will watch me and Waad and everyone, and I want him to see we are strong, not weak. We are strong enough to complete what we have started and what our friends who died started, and we will reach to our victory someday. We will try him as a criminal war. And so I'm not weak. Yeah, my country here in my heart. I will come back someday. Thank you so much, Afraa. I would like to ask you one final question, and I think this is a very important one for us. What we have just seen in the film is not over. The war is not over. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about Aleppo now? Aleppo is under al-Assad control and Russia. Because of Caesar law, the economic siege is on in my country. So just the poor family who injured from this law, but the government and here all is they doesn't injure from this. I say, I know that a lot of family has to be inside their house, choose to be in their houses in danger to be arrested. It is better for them to be in camps, in tents, in Idlib and Turkish borders. So I can't blame them, because they don't have choices. So what I want you to share with everyone, what you have seen today, because our experience wasn't the first or the end. Unfortunately, now Idlib contains more than 3 million people, most of them displaced from several cities and areas in Syria, and they are in danger to be displaced again and again to another places. 10 years the camp suffered from cold atmosphere, the cold situation. Just imagine you live 10 years in a tent, in a closed tent, during the cold or the hot weather. So just can you imagine? I can't even look at the people inside the tent, because every time I went to the camp, I see from them the depressed that you can't do anything to save us. We used to always to receive a lot of journalists film us and take photos, and nothing changed. So it was very horrible to see them. So that is the situation. This is Syria, the rest of Syria.
Thank you, Afraa. The other question that we touched upon at the beginning, when you disappeared for a bit, is what can people do to help? There is an organization established called Action for Sama. I don't know if you would like to say a little bit more about that, or
yeah. I'm volunteer with Action for Sama. We communicate with Mulham team. I don't know if you can visit our website www.actionforsama.com. Don't say that I can't do anything. I don't know how to help. You can help. Not just, for example, 3 months ago I started to teach online, English online, to to Syrian students as alternative. Maybe they want to find job. They are youth, just want to find job. And I started to give them, and I received a lot of volunteer from UK, even from America, to teach them English through Zoom. So it is a simple thing. Just think, and we can figure out together how can participate in any field of help, any kind of help in Action for Sama. And even you can visit Mulham team Mulham team site, and you will see their job. They are really fantastic team, and they just help in every field, not just in health, in education, every kind.
Thank you so much. And we have posted the link in the chat, and we will of course also put the chat to make the chat available for everyone. Thank you so much, Afraa. I could go on talking to you for much longer. I really learned so much from hearing your experiences and your reflections, and I think it's so important for us to learn this way. So I'm so grateful for you that you could come and be with us today. I hope we can invite you to Sendeb and to Oxford Brookes and to the Documentary Film Club at a later stage, when we can all meet again and share the laughter and the tears face to face.
Now I want to say hi to you.
We will love to.
She told me.
Hi, how are you?
This is Naya. Hi. She was too young in the film. Now she's 7.
It's so nice to see you. How is the school going for you?
Good.
Oh, we're so happy to hear that. I hope you can come and visit us in Oxford as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all of you.
Thank you.
And really, I'm very happy to be with you today.
It's wonderful, and I'm just so grateful. And I think there's so many around all the participants would like to wish you luck, and there's been so many comments admiring your strength, and thank you so much for in a way giving it to us as well, and the inspiration that you have given us. That's really something that we appreciate very much. I'm going to now leave the word to James, perhaps to conclude today. But thank you so much again, and thank you for all the wonderful questions and comments in the chat. Sorry I couldn't mention all your names. I find it hard to multitask with reading questions and talking at the same time. But thank you so much, and we will share the chat, I think. So
I'm reading there.
James,
thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. Bye. Thank you for doing a wonderful job chairing. That was beautiful, and thank you so much, Afraa. I'm just going to read a couple of the comments that I noticed from the chat, just to wind up. Olivia said, "What a powerful movie with amazingly brave people." Alessandra said, "This film opened my eyes, so much so that I cannot look anywhere else now." And Sue Walsh said, I think, a very beautiful thing. She says, "Afraa, I hope you have beautiful persimmons every day of your life." And as Catherine said, we will share we've invited people to add their comments to the chat box, and we will obviously share that with you and with everybody else after the meeting. So that's really it for now. If you want to unmute, if you want to unmute yourselves and say thank you, I'm sure Afraa would love to hear your voice. We'll go to gallery view. If you want to turn your camera on and say hi and wave, that would be lovely too.
Hi. Thank you so much.
Give a little wave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you, Afraa. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Afraa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Afraa.
Thank you.
And thank you, Naya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Warm wishes, Waad and Hamza and family.
Bye. And Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have,
Goodbye.
look, we have a tree.
Oh, wow.
You're early. No, I guess
Yeah,
that's
all the lights.
Oh, wow. Wow.
For Naya.
Oh. Merry Christmas. Peaceful one.
Okay. Hope to you a new year, a good new year for you. And maybe we can someday meet again, but when when the lockdown will end, and we can make another screening.
That would be wonderful. I think that there's no harm in watching this film several times, and there's so much more to discuss. And as you say, for you, the struggle goes on, and we now see that there is a lot of support and people who would like to continue the conversation. So thanks for offering that. I think we will take you up on that. So we're wishing for better times and times where we can actually meet face to face and continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.